Jack is approached by an Italian father and daughter who heard about his miracle curing of Sarah. The father has a tumor on his spine and they think Jack is their only hope. And having taken 2 semesters of Italian at college, I really find this scene amusing as neither of the actors make any effort at an accent when they speak the language. And I don't know what accent the daughter's going for when she speaks English, but it sounds more Klingon than Italian.
He wants to know why you won't try.
Jack starts staying out late while working on the case while Sarah is going out with lame excuses. She also makes a point of bringing up that she took a pregnancy test that was negative because now they're even turning her into another straw man responsible for all of Jack's flaws. Christian advises Jack to not ignore the possibility of an attraction growing between him and the daughter, as that will just make things worse, which is a good piece of advice, but is played as just more of him being a jerk because someone on the writing staff really wants to get back at their old man, damn it. The man dies, and Christian takes it upon himself to inform the daughter. And somehow this is also treated as him being a jerk because fathers can do no right on this show. They still meet up, and in the emotion of the moment they kiss. Yeah, ignoring that possibility really worked out, huh? Jack admits the whole thing to Sarah, who reveals that she's been cheating on him due to his never being around. I like to think it's with Happy Gilmore, but we'll get to that. And there you have it, the utterly mundane reason their marriage ended. That reaction from Jack back in orientation really makes him look like a whiny bitch now, huh? Michael grabs a rifle and locks Jack and Locke in the armory, acknowledging that he's not going to shoot them, but he will shoot the computer.
Nothing is not what you think it is, anyway.
Except it turns out it's exactly what they think it is, and it's what Michael's been seeing that ends up making no sense. Jack and Locke have the expected bitch fest until Locke realizes it's still early in the shift and no one will be coming to push the key. Luckily, Kate gets Sawyer to go to the Swan to have his bandage changed, including a moment that I'm sure is supposed to be romantic, but just feels kinda creepy given Jack and Kate's big kiss 2 episodes ago. Kate enters the combination with not nearly as many keystrokes as it should take. Yeah, nitpicky, but it's so obvious that it still sticks out. They put together a team, and Jack objects to Sawyer coming because he's still on medication, but still lets him do it. But he orders Kate not to come because, it's really not clear. He says it's so she can push the key, but Kate even points out that anyone can do that, and she has skills that can help. Sometimes it's exhausting figuring out which of these two I hate more. Sawyer even brings up how this makes no sense, to which Jack replies,
Why don't you go back and see if I hurt her feelings?
Yeah, it's Jack I hate more, but I'm sure that'll change soon enough. Hurley informs Jin and Sun about Michael and is bizarrely casual about it. Did he just have a joint or something? He is Cheech Marin's son after all. This leads to Jin wanting to help, but then he realizes he can't put Sun through not knowing what's happening to him again so soon after getting back. It's a great moment, and more of these two being the best part of the show. Jack and Locke debate about what they're doing, with Locke saying they shouldn't stop Michael if he really wants to do this. Well, then what are you doing here, genius? Out of freaking nowhere, Locke decides to quiz Sawyer about going by another name, which he's known since Raised by Another thanks to Hurley's census. I know I usually complain about people not asking each other stuff, but is this really the best time? And why is he only curious now? They hear gunshots and Sawyer brings up Cindy being kidnapped, pretty much the only time anyone will show any acknowledgement of her existence for the rest of the show. They don't find enough shell casings to account for the gunshots, a rather oblique reference to the Kennedy assassination which will never pay off.
You out here for Michael, or just payback for getting shot?
My response is, what the hell does it matter? But of course all Jack cares about is a new reason to look down his nose at Sawyer. Night falls and Jack and Locke fight like an old married couple about whether they should keep going. Screw it, I can't be arsed to side with either of them anymore. That's when Tom shows up, so you might think some answers are coming. Well, you'd be wrong. Charlie finds a record by a band called Geronimo Jackson in the Swan, which the producers insist is a real band from the 70s. I'm sure that's what the voices in their head tell them.
So what do you think's the story with that Libby chick?
Good question, particularly since we'll never find out, but I'll get back to that. Hurley is starting to wonder if he has a shot with Libby, to which Charlie replies,
I think Claz missed me up.
Shut up, Charlie. And then another rare instance of self-awareness as Sayid comes in and it turns out no one bothered to tell him what was going on. You'd think he'd be one of the first people they'd talk to go after Michael, but, well, that would require someone else to be as smart as him. Tom is here to tell them that the others aren't too happy with all the interference the Losties have been giving them. What, you mean after you kidnapped Claire and Walt with no explanation? Yeah, it's amazing they didn't want to sing Kumbaya with you after that. He also seems particularly upset that they opened the Swan, despite it later turning out that the others have nothing to do with the Swan, and they shouldn't care at all what anyone else does with it. This is the kind of thing that doesn't happen if you plan ahead. It's revealed that there are lots of others surrounding them, and it's also revealed that Kate was following them and has been captured. And the one who brings her out is Danielle's daughter Alex, though we don't see her face for no reason, given that we'll later see she looks completely normal. Now, I'm all for making Kate look bad, but since this only happened because Jack was such a pointless jerk, it doesn't work that way. And so everyone is forced to leave their guns behind and walk back to camp. There's another nice Jin and Sun moment where they discuss how they've both spent their whole lives being told what to do, but sadly we have to leave it for more of Jack being an asshole. This time he refuses to even look at Kate in the proud tradition of 5-year-olds everywhere. Yeah, I can totally see this guy hitting a woman who wouldn't let him on a bus.
Don't beat yourself up, Freckles. If you told me to stay behind, I'd done the same damn thing.
He did tell you to stay behind. I think that's a new record on the writer's memories. Jack goes to Ana Lucia because now that things are over with Kate for the moment, he needs to get into the love square. He also talks to her about training an army because clearly being a cop perfectly qualifies you to do that. And this whole thing will go a fat lot of nowhere because, well, I'll get to that. My score for The Hunting Party is 7 out of 10. It's got some real promise as it actually feels like some momentum is building up in a season that was pretty stagnant before. But then it all comes crashing down when the encounter with Tom gives us no new information and only serves to try to make Jack look better by making Kate look worse, when the writing is so bad that the opposite happens. Still, it does continue the rise the season has just started. Now let's see how long it takes to crash and burn again.